Welcome to Looking at Legal Stuff. Today we have two hearings in a case with a couple where Dad has filed a motion to show cause because he says he's supposed to have week on, week off custody, but at the last 3 pickup times his children have refused to go. He feels like they're being manipulated. Mom says there was a recent incident in Dad's home that involved CPS that the children were present for, and now they tell her they're too scared to go. She says she tries to encourage them each week, but she also wants them to feel comfortable. Dad says he doesn't think their son is upset about CPS at all. He says his son was grounded during the last visit they had, and he thinks his son is trying to avoid the rest of his punishment. What does the referee think? Let's find out.
All right, Ms. Lyon, I'll put you back in the waiting room then until you need it. Mr. Stogner is going to have to connect his audio here.
Okay. Yeah, I was having issues. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yep. We'll take up file 2022-58252, Matthew Stogner and Jessica Stogner, and both are here via Zoom. And this is the date and time set for hearing on a show cause regarding parenting time. Mr. Stogner has filed complaints with the friend of the court, which were set for hearing today. Both raise your right hands. You both swear or affirm any testimony you give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
I do.
All right, sir, what led you to file the complaints with the friend of the court?
No, I've last 3 pickup dates, which it would be 3/12, 3/26, and 4/9. The kids have stated that they were refusing, though 2 of the dates they both willingly, came up, gave me hugs, told me they love me, and the one act, Mackenzie literally turned around, broke down crying as she was walking back to her mother's vehicle. I can't, I can't prove that they are being, I guess, withheld, but I definitely have assumption that they've been guided on not going.
So what's your parenting time supposed to be?
It's supposed to be week on, week off.
Okay.
So Sunday to Sunday, every other week.
All right. And so you're supposed to pick up on March 12th, March 26th, and April 9th for your week?
Correct.
All right. And you went to the exchange
Correct.
location. You went to the exchange location?
Yes.
All right. And the kids were there and they spoke to you, but they did not go with you?
Correct.
Okay. And we're talking what, 3 kids? Is that what you said?
So we have 3 children. Landon has been in counseling where he has counseling with his ma and the counselor due to him completely refusing every week since the 50-50 order has been into play and before.
Okay. And then, so Landon is just one of the kids. Who are the other ones?
Yeah. So Hayden and Mackenzie are my other 2, the ones that have just recently decided to start refusing. They stated that at one point their mother told me that, they were scared. That's why they weren't going, which I actually have, surveillance in my home that, shows that there's no reason for them to be scared.
Okay.
My big thing is, I clearly miss my kids.
Right. All right. Bottom line is you're not getting your parenting time. You're not sure where the blame lies, but you're not getting it. Is that basically
Correct.
okay? All right. Well, Ms. Stogner, what's your side of this?
A few weeks back at the end of February, a CPS was filed against Matthew. And ever since then, two of my kids tell me that they're scared and don't feel safe at their dad's.
Which two?
Mackenzie and Hayden Stagner.
Oh. So the CPS action was filed. Do you know what for?
Abuse against Landon.
Occurring allegedly when?
It would have been the end of February. The same week that Matt and I had gone to court.
But I thought he wasn't seeing Landon.
He sees Landon. Landon has not had visitation with me for the 50-50 in almost a year. He denies it every week.
He refuses time with you. I thought he meant that Landon refused to see him, but Landon refuses to see you.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood that. Okay. So Landon is there at Dad's house. He was allegedly abused and a CPS action was open, and now Hayden and Mackenzie refuse to go.
Yes.
So do you encourage them to go?
I do. I did. Yeah. And now every week we have a conversation to see how they're feeling about it. I try to encourage them, but ultimately they're scared and don't feel safe.
So how did they become aware that there was a CPS allegation against Mr. Stagner?
Because they were at their dad's.
Oh, okay.
This is a recent situation. I've constantly stuck to the 50-50 order, always encouraged them to go up until this happened, and with them not feeling safe at their dad.
All right. So, sir, I got a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old, it looks like, that are refusing to go. Mrs. Stagner says she's encouraging them. I don't know. These are tough situations with teenagers because, I don't know sometimes how a parent is supposed to make an unwilling teenager go to parenting time. I mean, they can make their life miserable if they don't go, but ultimately, I don't expect them to tie him up or throw him in a cage or drop him off and kick him out of the car. I mean, I don't know. What else do you know about the situation?
I know with the CPS case she was talking about, the CPS case is actually recently closed. There was no actual proof on that. They came, they talked with me. They actually seen, the fact that I do have the surveillance up throughout the house and that it is operational, and nothing was deemed creditable out of it.
All right, so there was an allegation that you somehow abused Landon, but CPS has closed their case without any finding of preponderance of evidence or anything?
Correct.
All right, do you have a copy of any written report that may have been done or anything like that?
Not directly in front of me. I have the allegation paper that's actually it's in my actual court file right now. I'm not directly sure. I've been going through stuff due to actually the board is trying to get stuff, packed up as well due to our house. The house will be split and sold.
Okay.
So.
So 23rd would be your next parenting time date, right?
Yeah, this coming Sunday, correct.
Yeah. Ma'am, what do you foresee happening on the 23rd now that the CPS action has been closed?
I mean, I will encourage the kids to go, but I also want them to be able to feel safe as well.
All right, if CPS closed it, I mean, there was nothing of concern from the protective services standpoint. I don't know, is there more to the story, I guess, or what?
I mean,
Yep. No,
What's that?
and the week that they first refused to come back, so Hayden, my 14-year-old, he was actually grounded that day, and he knew once he was coming back, then he would have, he would be grounded for the day. He did this one other time last summer once he got grounded. And then the following week he'd come back. They say none of this started until directly after the CPS case. And once he was grounded, then he decided, he did not want to come. And Mackenzie, follows it with her brother.
All right. Ma'am, what did you have Ms. Lyon here to testify about?
my daughter, she's my daughter's counselor.
Okay.
So she's able to give her point of view on my daughter and how she's feeling.
All right. Want me to let her in then?
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Lyon, can you raise your right hand? Yep. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. I guess, Ms. Stogner, you asked Ms. Lyon to be here. Do you have some questions you wanted to ask her about the situation?
I just want her to be able to, I guess, not really speak for Mackenzie, but give her opinion on how Mackenzie's feeling right now with this
Well, let's hold on.
situation.
Ms. Lyon, can you state your name for the record first?
Monica Lyon.
All right, and after on your sign in here, it says LMSW. You have a Master of Social Work?
Yes.
All right, and do you counsel with Mackenzie
Yes.
Stogner? Okay. And I guess, do you have like specific goals you work with Mackenzie Stogner?
Yes, I do.
All right, and what were the presenting issues when you started seeing her?
I began seeing her for anxiety, some depression-like symptoms, struggles at school with bullying, and a low frustration tolerance.
How long ago was that?
We are just shy of a year.
Yeah. So you've been seeing her for about a year. How often?
It's between 1 and 3 times a week or a month.
Okay. And so your goals are to deal with the presenting issues, I assume. What tools and techniques do you use to do that?
So I do a predominantly cognitive behavioral therapy type treatment where we recognize the emotions and the feelings behind them and kind of reframe them in our mind, find healthy adaptive skills to limit the impact on our social and academic functioning that our anxious feelings can provide.
All right. And over the course of the year, has that been successful in dealing with Mackenzie's anxiety?
Mackenzie has come a long way in the past year when it comes to addressing her anxiety. There's been probably within the past 4 months, heightened anxiety where I've been noticing that she's just been really struggling.
How about depression?
Yeah, the depression and anxiety have
Pretty good.
been far more prevalent the last 4 months.
Do they kind of go together?
Yes, I would say they are coincided very much.
How's she doing in school?
She is doing better, but continuing to struggle with certain friends, well, peers, and staying focused.
Yeah. Was she being bullied, or is she still being bullied?
She did have a good experience of being bullied. She's been, getting better at putting those boundaries in space and using the school to help her handle the bullying.
And how about her frustration tolerance?
The frustration tolerance was doing really well. And within the past 4 months, I've noticed a lower threshold where she's needing some breaks, where she's just kind of shutting down in class.
So what is your let me ask this again. Is it your understanding that there is some incident that took place that led to a regression, or
Yes,
is there some other explanation?
I believe that something has occurred.
You know what it is?
I believe that it has to do with family dynamics. Mackenzie takes a lot of that to heart and is very aware of every person in her family.
Okay. And so we're here today ultimately because she's not been going to see her dad for the week on, week off parenting time for the last month and a half or so. Have you talked to her about that?
I have talked to her about that.
To come to any kind of resolution or anything like that?
Mackenzie is very passionate for both of her mother and her father. She loves them both so much. My goal while working with Mackenzie is to make sure that her thoughts are her own. And she 100% loves her dad and wants to spend time with him. However, at this time, she has shared with me that she is not ready yet to go to dad's.
Do you know why?
Stress, fear, anxiety of the dynamics. I don't know the full details of, Mr. Stogner's home, nor do I press, but just a lot of high anxious feelings, lack of sleep.
Yeah. Do you counsel with just Mackenzie, or do you counsel with Mackenzie and a sibling, or?
I counsel, I'm authorized for individual therapy, family therapy, and then case management. I've been predominantly working with Mackenzie.
All right. So is it possible for you to counsel with Mackenzie and Matthew and try to get to the bottom of her anxiety as it relates to his house and see what can be smoothed over?
I would be open to doing that as long as Mackenzie feels comfortable with it.
But I mean, ultimately, there's a court order, and we expect the court orders to be followed. I'm sure she's been made aware of that, but if there are other mitigating circumstances, it doesn't necessarily excuse the violation of an order. Sometimes it helps explain it. And ultimately, sometimes the order has to be changed, but at this point, if it's like a specific situation, then it might make more sense to try to work past it with a couple of sessions with both of them. That might be a better resolution than coming in here and overhauling the whole parenting time or custody.
Would I so I try to be very careful with my wording, right? As I'm Mackenzie's person. And one of my concerns is, would I be able to do the family therapy in a mutual location for the comfort of Mackenzie?
You can do it wherever you wanted. Or you could, if you weren't comfortable doing it, you could propose somebody, I suppose, and maybe somebody else does it. You stick with Mackenzie and somebody else who's qualified works with the two of them. I don't know. I'm kind of spitballing here. I'm not,
Okay.
not necessarily saying I'm going to do something or not do something. I'm just kind of trying to figure out what might be a situation to, correct everything. All right, Ms. Stogner, after, I've questioned Ms. Lyon, obviously. Do you have any questions for her in addition to what I've asked?
No, I do not.
Mr. Stogner, do you have any questions for Ms. Lyon?
No, as hopefully figuring something out to be able to, work things through with Mackenzie.
Right.
Would like to
oh,
figure
I'm sorry.
out.
Yep. Are you open to seeing somebody with Mackenzie, trying to get to the bottom of what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. My biggest thing is just seeing my kids.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's good. So there's nobody here to talk about Hayden though, right?
No.
Okay. I guess, sir, you're supposed to have week on, week off. I don't lose sight of that. But kids have feelings, and the older they get, sometimes the more willing they are to stand up for themselves. And I don't know what happened to your house. I wasn't there. If CPS is not taking any action on it, I have to assume it couldn't have been too serious, whatever it was, in my mind, because I see a lot of bad stuff. But if these kids don't see, if they're not used to or comfortable with whatever led to that, then I don't want to lose sight of their feelings either. So I think you probably need to sit down with them and somebody and kind of talk it out and say, hey, this is where we need, where are we going from here? You know what I'm saying?
I completely understand.
All right. So, Mrs. Stogner, do you know if these kids are willing to do something short of week on, week off for now? Like maybe go for a weekend or so, just so he has parenting time. I'm not going to change the order or anything at this point because nobody's filed a motion asking that I do that. Simply the show cause have been filed asking for enforcement of the current order. But are they willing to go for any amount of time, do you know, or even go have a meal or go see a movie or go to the park or anything or what?
I can talk to them about it.
Okay. I'm sure you've impressed upon them that there's an order, and it's kind of like a little law that just affects them. And
Yes.
I'm not really holding you entirely responsible here, but ultimately you're the one that's facing a contempt finding and a fine and make up parenting time and all that kind of stuff.
And I understand that.
If this is a situation that's going to persist and you don't see it getting better, you would need to file a motion to have that addressed, and we'd have to have a whole lot longer hearing than we set aside on a Monday. We only set these for a half an hour on a Monday to kind of get to the bottom of what's going on. And if it requires more time, then that's fine. But I guess, why don't I adjourn this for a month? Sir, you look into maybe seeing if you can set up an appointment with somebody to sit down with, probably both of them, and kind of work through whatever they're feeling. And then, ma'am, at the same time, you say, hey, okay, you don't want to go for a week. I get that for now. Your dad's going to make an appointment with somebody. You guys are going to talk about it. In the meantime, maybe throw out a proposal that they at least go for the weekends, or that they see him a couple nights a week for dinner or something, just because, hey, he wants to see his kids, and I get that. But they've obviously experienced something. And like I said, I don't want to discount that at the same time.
Right.
But then, sir, in the meantime, I really think it's important that you make an appointment with somebody to sit down with them and get to the bottom of it and work it out. So all right.
I mean, would you suggest possibly just, like do with son that's been refusing there. I mean, we have the meetings at right at the CMH there in Owego.
That'd be fine.
That's
Or
where
if
all
Ms.
the
Lyon-
thing is.
yeah. Or if Ms. Lyon knows somebody that that would be good, that's fine too. CMH, I don't know, that's probably covered somehow by insurance. I don't know. Whoever Ms. Lyon would propose might be or might not be. I don't know. Maybe she knows someone that's really good at that type of thing. I don't know. I think it's worth pursuing that though before any major overhauls are done.
All right. Now, my one question that I do have, like, so the weeks, like, if they do refuse, should I record the dates that they,
Yeah, keep track.
if they refuse?
Yeah, keep track of it. Maybe it can be made up at some point in the future, maybe not. I don't know, but yeah, certainly keep track of the time that you're missing out on. That'd be part of any determination, obviously. But if there was some kind of incident that led to CPS being involved, and these two kids were present for it and witnessed it, and have some mixed feelings as a result, that's probably not an unreasonable way to feel, regardless of how CPS resolved it. All right.
I understand.
All right. I'll reset this for May 15th, 1:15, so about a month, and we'll see how things are going. All right. All right. Take up file 2022-58252. Matthew and Jessica Stogner. Ms. Stogner is here with counsel. Mr. Shepherd's here on her behalf. Mr. Stogner has not appeared. The matter was just set for a week ago on the same issue regarding alleged denials of parenting time. I took some testimony at that time. Order was entered adjourning the matter for an evidentiary hearing on May 15th, I believe, and directing the defendant, Ms. Stogner, to do what she could to get the two children who are at issue here to visit their dad, and for Mr. Stogner to set up some counseling, maybe to try to address the issues that have presented themselves and led to the children's, refusal, for lack of a better term, to visit. I don't know what else I would accomplish today anyway. I guess it'd just be my intent to kind of bundle this into what's been adjourned till May 15th. Mr. Shepherd, do you want to address anything else?
Your Honor, I don't have an objection to that. I'm relatively new to the case. I'm in the process of going through. My client sent me. We would just ask that we proceed to the evidentiary hearing. I don't even know that the show cause order is necessary, given that we're going to do that. He didn't show up, maybe because he thought it was resolved. My client is here, and I would report to the court that there actually was some parenting time accomplished this weekend for the party's daughter. My client is doing everything she possibly can do. On a concerning note, though, it looks like we'll refer to him as Matt and Kelly, have been visiting the children, specifically Mackenzie, at school. I don't know. It's not ordered. I suppose it's not prohibited. I don't know how helpful that is, because now they're disrupting this child at school. And I don't know if that's going to make her or increasingly likely to want to do parenting time. Part of the problem my client is having, she's throwing her hands up in the air. We don't know where this counseling step is. I guess Dad, my understanding is Dad was ordered to get the counseling going. I don't know if that's taken place, because on the backside of this, Judge, obviously is some difficulty my client is running into in terms of exercising parenting time in her own right. So we look forward to the evidentiary hearing on the 15th, Judge, but did want to report that to the court because my client is taking this court's orders as seriously as possible, but it is very difficult, and it continues to be difficult.
All right. And, I guess from a practical standpoint, Mr. Stogner filed the complaint. Friend of the court filed the show cause on his behalf, essentially, because of that complaint. He's not appeared today. He did last week. It's already set for evidentiary hearing on kind of the global issues, which is all the same thing. So at this point, today's show cause will be dismissed because he's not appeared, but we'll proceed as previously ordered on the other show cause.